Howdy, I'm Derek, and in this video, I'm going to share with you what I believe is the best shortcut ever in Excel. Full disclosure, this is a custom solution, so it's not a built-in native shortcut, but why do I feel like it's the best shortcut ever? Because it turns just about any action in Excel into a shortcut. Jump to a file, a sheet, a named range in a second or two. Pull your favorite Lambda custom functions into any workbook. Run hundreds of macros that can automate with little shortcuts or really bulk automation kind of stuff. And run virtually any command, learn the shortcut for it in just one place. Sounds pretty interesting, right? Well, let's jump in and have a look. With just one shortcut, and the default I have for this is Control-Shift-W, this is called the Global Search Box. It's a signature tool within the Accelerate add-in suite, a collection of hundreds of macros that are designed to help you get a lot more done in Excel in a lot less time. Typically, it's a couple hundred hours a year that you can save when you add up all the time with shortcuts and in all the bulk things that you can do. Let's start with searching for files. So I'm searching for a file that has push-up in it. So notice I just typed in PUS, and we can pull that up in seconds. This is something I was using to kind of track a challenge that I was doing. Okay, here's another one. I'm just typing in part of the word diary, and this is a tracker for all the different disc golf stuff that I track, courses and whatnot. It's one of my big hobbies. Just a couple of clicks and we can find that. Why is that so important? Because the average person spends over 400 hours a year looking for information like files, and this is a great way to cut down on that, okay? Just a couple letters you have to type to get there. Now, it's not just files, you can also search for sheets. So if we're going to search for a file in this big sheet or this big workbook, how about New York? I've got a lot of experience with restaurants and retail, and a lot of times there's one sheet per location or region or department or something like that, and this really helps you navigate. Okay, so that's another example there. You can also jump back to the very front if you want to using some of the other shortcuts that are available in here. I feel like those are pretty good to use kind of together. And then another one is being able to search for range names. Now, a lot of people don't necessarily use named ranges. This might give you an excuse to do that. So if you know part of the name, like the one we were just on, maybe you want to select a particular thing, it'll jump to the sheet and it will select that named range for you if you want it to. Okay? But it's not just about navigation. You can also do a few things here where you can, let's say, inject a Lambda. Okay, so if you're not familiar, Lambda lets you add your own custom functions. I'm going to search for one called Easter here. Now notice when you press the arrows up and down, the whole details of the box are going to shift based on what you're looking for. So if it's a file, it's going to show you the folder path and the file name. If it's a Lambda like this, it's going to say, well, what's that group? What's the formula? What are the comments in here? And then some other things off to the side. Now, if you are grouping these together, there's a library in the background that saves this, and you check the box for all the group. It's not just going to add one, it's going to add several of them. So if we look up over here, these are stored in the named manager. Notice there are a whole bunch over here that it added for us. Okay, so all we have to do is type L underscore part of Easter, refer that whole named range right there, and as long as we give this a date format, there we go. We injected that. You can do that to any of your workbooks, not just the ones where you built that originally. Okay, so Lambda is another good one, and of course macros themselves. Okay, so we're going to run a couple of them in here. Maybe you have a workbook like the one I'm looking at right here that's got a lot of sheets again. So I'm going to select all of those through the very end, run a particular macro called Summarize Sheets. Okay, just typing in 3 or 4 letters. And what this does is it says, hey, where's the auto filter range the same throughout all these sheets? So it finds that, and it says for all those, we're going to, because it's expecting them to be identically structured, build a couple of summary sheets. So row by row and side by side there if you're looking at the bottom. What this lets you do is analyze whether it's by row or then looking at them side by side. So we were able to run that with just a couple of clicks using the global search box. If you work with a lot of units, a lot of locations, super, super helpful there. And now that we have a whole lot of sheets, maybe we want to add a table of contents. So just search for part of that. It's going to tell you, where do you want to put a hyperlink to? And at the very beginning of your workbook, that's intentional, it's going to list out every one of those sheets that you can jump to very quickly. And the idea is you jump back to this and you get anywhere in the file that way too, or you can use the search box. And then the very newest one in here is the ability to add keyboard shortcuts. Okay, so on one of these where I wanted to, I couldn't remember a keyboard shortcut a couple of weeks ago, and I had to Google for it. It took me a couple of minutes. It interrupted my flow a little bit, and I thought, maybe that can just be built right into Excel. What I was trying to search for was the ability to hide all of those little plus and minus icons, the outline symbols above the column headings and to the left of the row headings. So I was looking for something named toggle. And if you put KS for the keyboard shortcut, so it tells you all these right below all the different shortcuts there. I was looking for this one. Okay. Now that it's in the search box, you can come in here and just type part of that. So let me kind of start over here. Okay, come in here, KS, toggle. Okay, that's the one we want. So now you can both learn the shortcut, or if the entire thing is there using those arrow keys, you can run it. So see what this does. It toggles those symbols. Now I know it's Control-8, so I can go straight to that. Or if I forget again, I can come over here, and the most recent one is saved. So that's across all these different things we've been doing. The last 10 actions we looked for are saved. Just one more little shortcut that you can do. Okay. So in effect, with all the shortcuts, because you can add your own, that's what the button down here lets you do, you can run virtually any command in Excel this way. If there is some shortcut, whether it's built in like Control-8 or it's more of an Alt string shortcut, you can add that yourself if you want to. So whether you're searching, running command, injecting a Lambda, or running hundreds of macros, it can all be done with just this one shortcut. If you're more of a mouse person, well, you can come up here to the Accelerate ribbon. This shortcuts menu is all of the different macros that you can set to your own. So you've got that. And of course, you've got the global search button there if you want to then type. You can also do this using the right-click menu. So whether you right-click with the mouse or use that keyboard, they're going to be added to the bottom. So this list right here is going to look the exact same as the shortcuts over there. So whatever your flavor it is, trying to make that UI and navigation as easy as possible. So there you have it, the most powerful shortcut in Excel. You want to give this a try, please go over to www.accelerate.co to the file downloads page, or just use a link that I'm going to put in the comments below the video here. If you like this video, please give it a like, tell us what you thought was interesting, share it with a friend, and of course, please make sure to subscribe so you don't miss out on other great tips, tricks, and shortcuts just like this one. Awesome content in Excel and beyond. Thank you so much for watching. Have an excellent rest of your day.